Hey dude, we did some more cool harmonic tricks today. We looked at Interstate Love Song and we deciphered the actual chords, which sort of put us in a C-sharp minor mode for the day. So he uses a version of the 5 chord, which puts the 3rd in the bass. So this is just a G-sharp major triad with what we would call a B-sharp in the bass. But it just functions like a 5, where the leading tone is in the bass position. Another cool 5-chord substitute I pointed out is this. Okay, that's an augmented chord, so that's a little closer in sound to this. But again, it's the leading tones in the bass. And now the SCP song keeps going. Now it goes to a C-sharp 7 over B. Then to a half diminish on B flat. And then the 4A and 1. So C-sharp's the relative minor. It's just sort of a walk-down progression from the relative minor. It's tough. I'm not doing it that well. Or I'm getting some extra string noise in there or something. There we go. Do it in other keys. Do it in E minor, just to kind of feel the difference. And then try to do it in the major. So we talked about a variation on that. And the way I got there is I explained that one weird chord that you thought correctly looked a lot like a B9, major 9. You just invert the pinky in the first finger, but it has a very different harmonic relationship or implication. So take an E major. You can see my E at the 7th fret. I'm just going to drop it a whole step to a D. Excuse me. So now I'm playing an E over D, or an E7 over D, since D is the 7th. Now I can keep walking it down to an A over C sharp, which is the 4, and an A minor over C, and an E over B. This is just a very common harmonic pathway. Again, much easier on the keyboard, but worth learning on the guitar. Okay, and then we talked about your song that we sort of wrote-ish on the fly there. We were grooving on C sharp, and I recommended a couple of different chords. The D9, keep that E natural, the G sharp augmented, the F sharp 7, or the C sharp diminished. We got to that eventually. And then I talked about how the common modulation is just to the relative major. So that's a 2-5 on E, and a 2-5 back to C sharp. But the slightly more interesting one is the 2-5 on 6, which is A. So that really makes a flat 7 minor, which is an unusual chord, and then to like some kind of E7, A. So you're here and you're very minor-y, but then you hear this. It's a very cool move. Then you can 2-5 to get back. Excuse me. In jazz, you can 2-5 your way into anything, and it's usually a very effective way to modulate. And you paired this off with some things where you took the 1 as a diminished, and then modulated it up a half a step, which I like. It's weird. And at some point, you can just run your diminished chord back to the leading tone of C sharp. So that's most of what we covered, just more fancy harmonies and doing some writing. And you, of course, did this chromatic passage in your song, which was not prompted by me, but I really liked. So try to use the recording we made to finish that tune for next time. See you, man.